Oi, gits! It's me, Arbork to Ian.
Mirror manga.
Yeah, good, very good goblining. And we are back with the book club where we talk about Warhammer books. And today we have one of the most fun Warhammer books.
Yay.
I always enjoy Orc books. It is Mike Brooks's the first Red Gobbo novella, De Gobbo's Revenge.
Gobbo's Revenge.
Yes,
and
brilliant.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. It's a Christmas. We released this as a Christmas thing because the Red Gobbo it's a weird idea, but it's sort of Christmas.
Yeah, you have a
Christmas
very good,
goblin.
You had a very great title. Was it Santa? Or...
I'm going to do a video over Christmas called Santa or Stalin. What the hell is the Red Gobbo? But anyway, before we start, we will do our usual bump if you haven't been here before. So we're Ian and Mira, and we make videos on YouTube. We both have YouTube channels. You can get to the main channels below. This is the book club channel. And we also have merch and we have Patreons, and you can like and subscribe us, which is a thing I always forget to say, but genuinely it is really useful. It's useful for us because then whenever I release a video, you get told about it. So yeah, do that stuff. Also, our t-shirts are great. We're not wearing any of them today because we're wearing Christmas costumes. Yeah. You've got your reindeer outfit, and I have this Santa hat that I had in the last Tale of Four Gamers.
We do like dressing up.
Yeah. It's only a short one today. This is a little bonus Christmas episode because The Red Gobbo's Revenge is quite a short book. But if you had to do a action movie, and I think this is the most action movie we've done for a while, intro, how would you do it?
Oh, gosh. In a world where the little people have been underfoot for too long.
Damn right.
Meet the little goblins who are going to change the way things go. Join us on an attack of a ship filled with humies and orcs who are going to see the other side of the small folk.
Vive Da Revolushun.
Woo!
Yeah. So this was a few years old now, not ridiculously, but obviously nowadays, the Red Gobbo is like a Christmas character that comes out every year. They release a new Red Gobbo mini. It used to be a White Dwarf mini.
This is the first time I've heard of the Red Gobbo.
So he's actually weirdly a character from way back in the game. We'll get into it later. But he's become this like comedy Christmas character.
Yay!
And at the same when the first one was released, this book came out, which is De Gobbo's Revenge.
Yes.
And it's the first, and there are now a whole series of like short stories and novellas about the Red Gobbo, all written by different people, all on different planets.
Released around Christmas?
I don't know, but there's a thing called Grotmas they do, where every Christmas they do a PDF release every day, and they're often like a little extra rule or something. And I don't know if the Red Gobbo's in that sometimes. I think it's a way for new writers to try out. But Mike wrote the first one. He's obviously a veteran orc writer.
The last time we read Mike was Brutal Cunning.
Yeah. And we think this is, as well as being a Red Gobbo book, so it's sort of about, how would you describe him? Like Goblin Che Guevara?
Yeah, I mean,
it's also a Christmas book and has reference to Christmas movies in it.
100%. I mean, there's definitely a bit of Die Hard in there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's some Home Alone.
Yeah, I think, it's definitely kind of Viva the Revolution, like let's take over, yeah, it's
a weird mix of things. But yeah, and I have a sneaky feeling that this was, as well as being a Red Gobbo thing, what I think is, I don't know when this was exactly released, but I get the impression Mike is also trying to put Christmas in it.
I mean,
so
we're making it a Christmas book, and there's also some really lovely flights of fancy, Terry Pratchett style.
Oh yeah, there are.
With social commentary and comedy and humour.
Yeah,
it's a really, really funny Warhammer book.
So we will start actually with a very Christmas thing, which is we meet not the main character, but the leader of the main characters, who is a guy called Claus. Now, Claus is an evil son's mech, which means he wears red, and he particularly has a long white beard of beard squigs.
Which is so bizarre. So the law of squigs being used as hair and beards is just absolutely mental.
So Claus, the evil son's mech, and he's been given a job, and he has a gang of grots who are his assistants. Yeah. Grots are are basically goblins.
Yeah.
Grots are permanently oppressed and kicked around by the orcs.
I know.
But obviously, what's happened to Claus? He's called Claus because he's had his arms chopped off and replaced with power claws, which means he can't do anything fiddly. So he has a load of grots: Grubber, Duzzik, Swick, Flish, Ratak, and Fingwit, who are called the Fingers because they're his fingers.
Yeah, I think that's so clever. And it says something like, the amount of time it takes him to shout at them and get them to do what his hands are doing is,
they're on the corridor they're in battle. They're in the corridor of a boarded Hume ship. And they've been told by the Mech Lord to go and take control of the Hume ship's guns and fire it at the other Hume ships. That's their job. The Mech Lord is the leader of the Tequar, which is the war that Offthak Blackhawk's in.
Yeah, it's with Princess and everything.
Yeah, so somewhere in this, Princess the Squig and Offthak Blackhawk is running around.
Which makes me very happy.
So they're in battle, right? So their Claws is going through the ship. Fingwit and the Fingers are following. They're behind this group of knobs called Ruggers Destroyers, who are in their mega armor.
Mega knobs.
They're mega knobs. I was doing a video for IGN recently. No one was expecting me to talk about knobs so much. And I was like, this is perfectly normal until the rest of the room collapsed in laughter. And we all had to take a moment while we all were like, I can't do this answer without saying the word knobs a lot.
As a friend of Ian, he talks about knobs all the time. You just have to deal with it.
Claws is like, right, whatever you do, our job is not to fight. We've got to get to the guns. You shouldn't do fighting. But then Fingwit, who's like our main grot.
We should say Fingwit's biggest wish is to have weapons and guns.
Yeah.
Because the grots only get these little things that explode in their hands.
Yeah, you've got like, what is it? You've got Fingwit. Ratak is a really sneaky one he doesn't like.
Yeah.
And then there's two, Swick and Flish, who are like
twins almost.
They like nicking stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a few of them. They've all got their own little grot ability.
Yeah.
And he's like, don't shoot anything. But Fingwit spots these humans sheltering behind some fuel barrels marked with a fire symbol. And he's like, great. Fires his blaster, causes a massive explosion, which causes a crane tower to collapse, which sends a crate tumbling that crushes lots of orcs and things. No one's annoyed at him from the orc side because that's funny. Orcs quite like that sort of thing, even if it kills orcs. But Claws is furious at him because he disobeyed orders and tries to crump him.
Yeah.
Crump being a general word for beat up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Fingwit definitely seems to be placed as more intelligent than a normal grot.
Or certainly than an orc.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Fingwit runs away, but the corridor he runs down has even more Humies in it. And so Claws goes and attacks them. He has this magic berserk button.
Yeah.
That
sounds about right.
That shoves like cyborg chemicals into him and then makes him go crazy. So he has to fight a load of Humies, and while he wins, he is eventually stabbed a lot.
There's a really funny bit where they're like, oh, he's got lots of sharp things in him. Should we take him out? And Claws goes, better lead them in. If you take him out, I'll just start spilling my blood everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, if you take him out, I'll start leaking. Yeah. So anyway, eventually Claws is killed, or almost killed. And he's like, no, I'll be right in a minute. He's got like an axe in his head.
Yeah.
I'll be right in a minute. But for the meantime, he needs to get the gun. So can you he gives him an instruction list.
Yeah.
So Claws is making a list.
Doesn't
say how many times he checks it. And Fingwit takes the list, and Fingwit's like, you've got to go and take over the guns until Claws like recovers.
We don't think he's going to recover.
Right? And then more Humies arrive, so the Fingers have to flee. They flee into like an elevator shaft, which is this room that goes up and down. They're like, this is very funny.
Yeah, it's their first time in a lifty.
Yeah, they're trying to explain what a lift is.
Yeah. And so he goes, we need to go down, but being grots, they press all the buttons.
Yeah, they press all the buttons at once because they're shiny buttons. So Fingwit's like, oh God, we're going anywhere. They end up in a storage space and more Humies are coming. So they set up, Fingwit sort of takes control and sets up an ambush for the Humies. Fingwit uses Duzzik as bait to draw the fire. Then Grot's positioned above on heavy pallets, shove heavy pallets down, crushing the Humies.
Very, very good.
And then they swing an explosive fuel canister into another group of Humies. And then when that happens, they tip ball bearings out, which causes them all to fall over. And then the Fingers can go and stab them.
And this is
I think this is a Home Alone reference. I think this is entirely a Home Alone joke.
Yeah, I loved it. It was very, very fun to see them strategizing, and they're all arguing, oh, why do I have to do this? But, Fingwit manages to get them to do it.
Fingwit's leading, although he keeps getting questioned by Ratak, who you get the impression also wants to lead. And they cross they cross basically a battle. And when they cross the battle, Flish is killed by a shooter shell.
Yeah, he catches a stray, doesn't he?
And then everyone's like, well, you've just got Flish killed, so you're a crap boss. So Ratak goes, right, we shouldn't do this. We should go up in the air vents and climb through all the air vents.
Yeah.
And Ratak Fingwit ends up being at the back. And he's like, yeah.
And that's the Die Hard reference.
I think that's the Die Hard reference. Yeah.
But it's quite funny. We've written here. So the fingers, in order to get up to the ducks, they just climb up because they've noticed all these like humans,
dead humies, part robot dead humies,
which are servitors, and they climb up the servitor like a ladder, and get into the ducts. So
they just if they discover that if they just shove it, it'll take a step forward to right itself, so they can just keep shoving it around until it's standing under the duct.
Yes.
Anyway, so they get out the ducts, and suddenly a large wounded orc called Zagnab appears. And kicks Fingwit because he says he's in charge and he's got another job to do.
Yeah, this is horrible.
Zagnab doesn't care what the mechs told him to do. There's Grot's there, and Zagnab's told him to come with him.
Yeah. So they try and say, but we're doing a quest for our boss, and Zagnab's like, no, I don't care. You're just going to do what I say.
All the way through, there's this idea that like the Grots are well aware that their life is better than most Grots because they're mech Grots. They're Grot oilers who work for the mech. And that's better than just being in a herd shoved forward to eat up bullets.
Yeah, or be eaten.
So Zagnab's like, right, the rest of them going to fight, and all the rest of the fingers just abandoned Fingwit. And they're like, yeah, all right, Orc, we'll do what you say.
Yeah. But Fingwit's brave, and he runs away. Also, he's been picking up various weapons.
Yeah, he does a dive under a closing door which is Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Indiana Jones.
Anyway, so he's alone. Fingwit's alone for the first time ever. And he looks down, he sees his reflection in a pool of blood, which makes him look red. And he's like, oh, and what we need is a red gobbo. Oh, these orcs are always kicking us around. They won't listen to us. They're treating it so badly. And he has this like comedy Gollum scene.
So good. Where he has his little thoughts going, but what if you didn't do what the orc said? You could be this.
Yeah.
Really cool.
And he becomes, through this, the Red Gobbo. Or he's like, I'm going to pretend to be the Red Gobbo. And you never know how they know about the Red Gobbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Fingwit talks to the other ones, they all know what the Red Gobbo is.
Yeah.
But we don't know anything about it.
And there's this whole thing where it's like, the implication is it's rumours, but also there's loads of orcs all over the galaxy, and they don't meet each other forever, and they don't live very long. Like, how old is Fingwit? Like, 6 months? Like, who knows?
Baby Gobbo.
And they all get just smashed up all the time. So there's this idea that, like, you know how, like, the orcs, all their know-whats, they call them, how they know how to do things, like be a mech, is just genetic. So when they need a mech, one of them will just suddenly understand space travel without knowing why or how. They're just like, obviously you smash that into that, put that on there, wrap that around that, and press that button. Yeah, that works. And they don't know why they know it or really question why they know it. They just do. So there's this whole thing where we are not really sure how they know about the Red Gobbo. Maybe the Red Gobbo is also one of these genetic things, like, that always expresses itself when there's a load of Grots but not enough orcs. And everyone suddenly knows what the Red Gobbo is. Well,
I hope the Grots have their genetic DNA as much as the orcs do. It's just not fair. But
It's not fair. But the original Red Gobbo was this idea from, like, Gorka Morka in 1996. And it was this whole big thing where they have a committee and they're sorting the right. And the joke was that they keep sending out bands of insurgents to disrupt the orcs. But by the time the bands got back, the committee's had an argument and a different Red Gobbo's in charge and the rules are different now. So, yeah.
Well, I really liked at the beginning of the book, they spoke about the red means you go faster.
Yeah.
So the whole red theme is going the whole way through.
The evil sons, which are the orcs that wear red because they like driving cars around.
And they talk about Gork and Mork as well.
Yeah, which are the two orc gods.
They all know about the orc gods. The Red Gobbo is just a step away, surely.
Yeah. So he decides, anyway, in this, he decides he is, in order to get his fingers back, mostly, and then go and do what he's been told, he's going to become the Red Gobbo, or pretend to be the Red Gobbo, to get them back, right? So he makes himself a new outfit. There's a tooling up sequence where he gets, like, bits of a greatcoat off a dead Humie and makes it into a red greatcoat. He gets a gear, he gets a blaster that he's scavenged. A shooter, which is a big gun.
Yeah.
And a scepter and some goggles. And he's now the Red Gobbo because they all know that's what the Red Gobbo looks like somehow. Uses a load of Humie explosives to blow a hole through a blast door, and then he follows their tracks where he finds them all fighting. He declares himself the Red Gobbo, killed Zagnab with the shooter.
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, or knocking himself over in the process as he can't control it. And then convinces the fingers, who know that he's Fingwit,
that
he's the Red Gobbo, and anyone can be the Red Gobbo, and they should abandon their mission and instead, drunk on power, they're now going to take the bridge and take over the ship.
Yeah.
Because the fighting seems to have died down and all the orcs have disappeared.
It's so great. The way he argues to persuade them is, imagine if we have a big ship, the humans won't know that we've got this. We can shoot loads of humans.
Yeah.
Everyone will see how good we are. So he kind of parlays, we get to shoot anybody with a massive ship.
With this vague plan that they can like escape being bullied by the orcs afterwards.
Yeah.
So they go to take the bridge. There's no orcs left by this point. The fighting's died down and everyone's dead. So
There's
they go and
4
take
people on the bridge, isn't there?
And a load of servitors.
Yeah.
So they take the bridge, kill the captain with the blaster, secure control of the ship, and they rename the ship the Gobbo's Revenge.
So good.
And then high on freedom and now taking this whole grot liberation thing probably a bit too far, he decides that they're going to go back, join back in the fight, destroy loads of humans, and they know, then the orcs find out, they'll just get their ship taken back off them.
Yeah.
But then they'll be able to spread the legend of the Red Gobbo to more Gretchen.
Yeah, 3 more grots.
3 more grots.
It's very lovely.
So they all get taken over by the spirit of the revolution immediately and decide to go back. And then afterwards, we see this little story, an amount of time later, with some grots in secret telling the story of how this ship turned up, the Gobbo's Revenge, and it was crewed by grots and they won the battle for everyone, but the orcs covered it up in the name of the glorious revolution.
Woo! And so begins.
And so begins, again, the legend of the glorious revolution until it's inevitably wiped out again.
Yeah. Such a cute little story.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you like this?
Yes, we did.
Communist grot revolutionaries and a load of silly Christmas references.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I was sad about was that they went back to the, I was like, I don't want them to be bullied again, but I loved that.
But they're still orcs.
It was like, we have to help the other grots.
Yeah. And they have to they can't resist a fight. They're orcs and they've just been given a massive imperial ship full of guns.
Yeah. So, no, it's very, very cute and some really funny bits and some good, like I think I said, some Terry Pratchett social commentary.
Yeah. So, it's fun. It's on the very silly side of Warhammer satire. It's very, very funny. Like the whole, they're doing this revolution that is always doomed to failure because they're grots.
Yeah.
They're just going to get into an argument and then they're going to end up getting way too excited and go plunging back into the battle anyway the minute they get a big gun.
Yeah. I feel there is a bit of, very grimdark, the fact that if you're a grot, no matter what you do, the orcs are always bigger than you. Yeah. And can always get you. So
and even if you're cleverer than them, you're just going to get beaten up. Yeah. You're just going to get your stuff taken off you.
It's tough being little weak ones.
It's tough being a goblin.
Yeah. So we've got
a question on this. MW Dider said, what's your opinion on the idea of the Gobbo and the wider revolutionary community not being one specific grot and actually being a recurring folk hero that any grot with a coat, hat, pair of goggles and shooter could, with the right motivation, become, versus the original Gorka Morka background?
Oh, tell me a story.
So in Gorka Morka, the story is that the mechs are building this ship to get off the planet. They don't let the grots on. So the grots form this revolution. They do a protest. And they're kicked out of town. Then they have a big fight. And then they form this much more detailed parody of communist revolutionaries where they've got a committee that elect a Red Gobbo. But the interesting thing, I think people forget this about the original Gorka Morka background. In the original Gorka Morka background, where there was a Red Gobbo character, he wasn't one grot. He was whichever grot was like a fake figurehead for the committee. So the committee would constantly have backstabbing arguments and split into small factions. One of them would take over the committee and then change all the rules of what they were doing. And their boss would be the new Red Gobbo. So the joke of the Grot Revolutionary Committee was that every time these insurgents got back from their mission, they found the mission they were doing was now wrong. Because they'd changed the rules. Because inevitably they got into a fight, split into a different small faction and changed all the rules of the revolution.
Bless the grots.
So the Red Gobbo was always any grot with a hat and a coat on it with different rules each time.
Oh, I love
the difference
that rule.
Is now that it's not this one thing that happened there. It's this encoded folk hero that always happens. And all the orcs are like, oh God, no, not another Red Gobbo. Oh.
I'm here for it. Yeah. I mean, you were saying there's loads of other Red Gobbo.
There's a load of other stories. One of them is the same goblin in the same place.
Really?
It's all different Gobbos becoming the Red Gobbo by different means.
I mean, in that case, I'm definitely here for it. I mean, I don't really like orc stories. I think we all know that. But I do like that they've got their own background and lore, like Gork and Mork and you know, the Reds goes faster, all of these different things. So, and I'm learning. I didn't know that the orcs knew stuff by DNA. That's crazy.
So they all just want to fight, except for the ones who know how to fix orcs, do psychics, do tend to squigs and beasts.
Yeah.
Like they all just know this. They don't know why they know it, and they don't question it either.
Yeah.
And the same. So you have Pain Boys, who is also turned up in one of the later stories. Pain Boys are orc doctors.
Yeah,
who just vaguely shove things back on.
We had some of those in Brutal Cunning, didn't we?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love the idea of the Red Gobbo, and I love that there's a mini as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of minis. There's a load of different Red Gobbos.
Was there one in 2025?
Yeah, I think the current one is him controlling a robot or a snowman or something.
Oh,
I think the snowman was last year. Yeah.
But I mean, Games Workshop do have their Christmas traditions because they will sometimes have James Workshop.
Yeah,
they'll have
true.
the Red Gobbo.
Yeah.
Do they have any other Christmassy things?
I don't think so. Apart from Grotmas, which is this thing where they give away like extra rules and PDFs every day.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Gobbo thing is interesting, right? Because he definitely started as a satire of left-wing revolutionaries.
Yeah.
And a satire of the left generally splitting and reforming and splitting again and reforming.
Yeah.
And it being as a joke. And then now it's like capitalist Santa?
Yeah.
Like
the evolution.
And what's interesting is while he's now Santa, he's still Che Guevara.
I mean, I'm here for that.
Let's just really odd.
But what's going to happen? Like in law, there will just always be Red Gobbos everywhere, like loads of Robin Hoods just running around,
popping up, and then inevitably dying and getting. The minute the orcs get together, you're going to kill all the grots and then carry on. And then when they treat the grots too badly and the grots have a chance, there'll be a Red Gobbo, which leads them to a revolution, which never works.
Yeah,
and it just keeps going on forever.
So if you're a grot, basically you are always just kind of doomed to serve.
Yeah, they have this weird thing. Another author described it really well as like having being just as cruel and horrible as an orc, much more intelligent and hating their oppressors, but also with a pathological need to try and keep them happy.
Oh, that's
so they just want to like keep them happy. Yeah.
So damaged.
So wherever you find orcs, you find grots. Yeah. And often they're just they like tend the squigs and the mushrooms, or they eat. They brew the fungus beer. They get herded into groups to soak up bullets ahead of the charge. They, a pain boy will have little grot orderlies with lamps and syringes. And Mech will have little grot oilers with helping run the machines. Because the orcs can't be bothered with maintenance. Yeah. So grots have to make all the clothes. Grots have to maintain the things the mechs build.
They're the dobbies.
Yeah, they are the dobbies.
We don't talk about that evil franchise anymore.
Yeah.
But so when you are playing on the board, do goblins have warbands?
Yeah, grots have points. Grots are everywhere. Sorry. Yeah. They do all the boring jobs orcs don't want to do.
Oh, I see.
Gary has an army of rebel grots using only grot things. So all of his models are like the things grots pilot.
But you must have to get like 3 times as many minis. Yeah. Okay, good. I mean, that's the beauty of a point system to even this stuff out.
It's just an army of like killer cans, which are little grot dreadnoughts. They put grots in a can, wire them in, and then the grot goes immediately mad with power and starts chomping around trying to kill everybody.
Not a grot
because a grot's been given a big gun. And it immediately goes insane and starts running around. There's grots ride buggies. There's grot buggies. He's converted grot buggies.
Oh my goodness.
There's all these silly grot things he's made. It's great fun.
Gary, I need to see your grot army, please.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, that's our little Christmas treat, the Gobbo's Revenge. The Gobbo's Revenge, of course, refers to the ship, not the goblins.
No.
Who don't get their revenge.
Oh, I'm sad that we won't get to hear what happens to them anymore.
No. But next time we come back with a goblin story, it'll be a different grot, a different Gretchen doing a different Red Gobbo somewhere.
That's amazing that Gretchen is a name.
Gretchen.
So
replaced with grot at some point, but yeah.
When you're in your experience, I'm actually quite touched because Gary's really lovely human and he plays the little grots.
He just plays an orc army of grots.
Do you think orc players are different to grot players?
I don't know.
Or is there like a Venn diagram?
I think orc players is a certain that you don't play orcs because you want to win. Sometimes they do win, but you play orcs because it's stupid. Like orcs are the silly faction, and you play orcs because it's funny.
So they do stuff like their heads explode, or
they're incredibly reckless. They constantly won't do what you tell them in a lot of versions of the game. They've got really stupid. You can sort of build an orc vehicle out of whatever you've got lying around. Yeah, they're a comedy faction.
Yeah, so probably people who play like Chaos Warlocks in D&D would play Orcs.
It's a silly faction and it's fun to do. I don't think many people play it because of its competitive game playing strategic possibility. Sometimes it is a good army.
Yeah.
People can win with Orcs, but I don't think that's the reason you choose Orcs. Orcs tend to require a lot of models.
Yeah, I bet.
So it's a big thing to paint an Orc army.
And are there less Grot players? I'm
sure
definitely. They must be the minority.
I don't know if it's even... He was building that army years ago and he still has it, but I don't know if it's even possible in the modern game to run an all-Grot army.
Oh.
Might not be. There might be an army that has a lot of Grots in it.
Yeah.
But yeah. There used to be like special lists for like things like that. But yeah.
Well, this has made me very happy and I'm, just reflecting on our year together.
Yeah.
We've done...
Of grottening.
Yeah,
we've been little book goblins ourselves.
I mean, all we do is read, but it's been a fantastic 2025 of Warhammer reading.
I know, right? We've got through so many books. I should have counted up before we did this how many books we got through. But it's loads.
We should have done a roundup.
Yeah, we should have done, but...
Next year.
Maybe a new year we'll have a plan or something.
Yeah, we'll try.
Yeah. Well, thank you for tuning in for our stupid book. You should all read it. It's genuinely brilliant. I'm a big fan of the Red Gobbo. And
yes.
And Merry Grotmas.
Merry Grotmas. Bye.
And if you'd like to follow this series, well, like and subscribe and you'll probably get notifications. And check below for details of the Patreon, the YouTube membership scheme, the merch store, and of course, the second channel. See ya!